Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Flip Flop Family Podcast. My name is Zylene and it is wonderful that you have joined us today. If it is your first time, we talk about all sorts of family matters that could affect your family, things that are going on, or even just things that are going on for yourself. We like to talk about them. We like to explore them, share a savvy tip, perhaps a dish of the day and more. So if it is your first time, please do stick around, and we have lots of other episodes covering all sorts of topics if you do like what you hear. This week has been a really poignant week for our family as our firstborn Emiliana turned 13 this weekend, and I just can't quite believe that I am a mother of a 13-year-old. As in my head, I am still in my 20s. Obviously I'm not, but that's how I feel. And to have a 13-year-old daughter who is taller than me, if you don't know me, I'm only 5 foot. So to be fair, it's not very hard to be taller than me, but she has recently gone past me, and it's very strange having a child that is taller than you, especially when they're getting told off. But it's also a really nice time because I would say that our life as parents is different, having two older well, not that old. My son will be nearly 10. He's nearly 10. But having older children, the dynamic and things that you talk about and the things that you do is very different to when you have little ones. Equally, if you have older ones who are, let's say, finishing their A-levels at the moment, again, things are so different. I just popped into my neighbour actually to drop her some birthday cake, and we were having a chat, and I was aware that it was getting late and said, I need to get the kids back. They've got to have showers and get to bed. And she was like, bed? It's only 8 o'clock. But she had totally forgotten because her kids are at the end A-levels sort of age, and she doesn't have to worry about them going to bed at 8 o'clock. Not that mine go to bed at 8, but we need to really be getting ready for them to go to bed. So times are changing as with each year comes along. Things change, the way that we discipline changes, the way that we have family time changes. Everything is just different. So we have celebrated a real big milestone, and she's had a wonderful time with 3 parties. So that's been good. However you've spent your weekend, I hope that it's been lovely. The weather in the UK has been temperamental, as I feel like it always is. Up and down. 1 minute it's hot, next minute it's cold. But it looks like the week ahead is going to be fairly dry, and I think we're going to have some high temperatures. So yay to that. Did you use my savvy tip last week? We actually did. We don't always use the savvy tips that I give on this podcast, but we happened to be in Brent Cross Shopping Centre on National Donut Day on Friday, as Emiliana wanted to get her second ear piercing for her birthday. And we popped down to Krispy Kreme and we showed our receipt that Emiliana happened to still have on her from when we went to Tim Hortons a few weeks ago. And we got free original glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme, which were amazing. So if you love saving money, make sure you stick around, as there is always a little savvy tip on this podcast. I do love saving money, and I get a bit of a thrill out of it, if I'm honest with you. So I like to share that thrill with you. So hang around and there'll definitely be more of that. Last week, I was talking to a friend of mine, and unfortunately, he got made redundant. It was totally out of the blue after about 17 years of working for the same company. And I felt so horrible for him. And we had a nice chat, and I was really trying to be positive and encouraging about the future, and which I truly do believe. I wasn't just trying to be. And it made me think about how so many people are facing redundancies. As per the HMRC, redundancies are on the rise year on year, and they can really affect individuals, especially families, and even more so if the family is relying on that one person's salary to then be made redundant. And redundancy packages aren't always amazing, and they're not always negotiated either, and they're not always planned. So I just thought it's a really good thing to talk about, because life has a tendency to throw you curveballs, and you just have to bounce back. So you may have been made redundant, but you don't have to be defeated. I think it's important to try and turn your redundancy from a negative, if it is a negative, because I know for some people they do take voluntary redundancy, and perhaps when they work out the finances, it makes sense to take that redundancy. Perhaps there's a new business venture or something that you wanted to do, and that might be your moment, and that's great. But if it was unexpected, or just you didn't think that you were going to be made redundant, you can still change that into a positive. And the first thing probably you should do is brainstorm how you can get out there and what it is that you want to do. It may be that you want to change career altogether. There's time for upskilling and retraining if you've been given some redundancy money, and perhaps reconnecting with passions, because I definitely feel that's how I used my end date at work, which actually has been extended, but the plan was it wasn't meant to be, and it was meant to end at the end of April. And I've been an occupational therapist since I graduated from university, but I've also been a radio DJ in between. And that is really my passion, is sort of working in media. And when I got given that sort of deadline in January, it really spurred me on to get moving with my passions, I guess, the things that I love doing the most. And it's amazing how much you can achieve when you have a deadline. And because I thought April was my deadline, I was pushing in every angle, making connections, updating my CV, going on LinkedIn, and just communicating really openly with everyone in that sort of industry to make it clear that I was kind of open to work, and that's what I wanted to do. And I think when you're made redundant, that is what you should do. Just think about what is your ikigai? If you haven't listened to that podcast, have a listen. What is it that makes you tick, that makes you sort of seamlessly do something that doesn't feel like work? And I guess focus on how you can get paid for that. If you've been in the same job for a really long time, it can be hard to know how to get another job because you've been doing the same thing for like over a decade. Where do you begin? But LinkedIn is a great place. Obviously, a job center, you can check out lots of different recruitment agencies. There are other platforms like Coursera, which can help you to upskill. But before you really jump straight into work and jump straight into any sort of upskilling and training, I think it's really important, if you can, just to take a moment and to see what it's like not to work. I can't quite imagine what that would feel like, as I haven't really ever done that, but just to reconnect with yourself and make sure that you're okay and that your mental health is all right, and to remember that it's not your fault that this happened. It's the business, the company that you worked for, changing things around, and they couldn't find a job for you, basically. Or maybe they're downsizing, but it's not your fault. And whatever it is that you do, you're great at it, and you will realize that perhaps this is a good thing that this happened, and you'll end up going on to bigger and better things. You may end up having more time for your family, be able to do the school pickups, be home for dinner, not have to wear office clothes if you do go into the office, but just being able to hang out for a bit while you kind of reset and figure out what it is that you want to do, and hopefully find something that makes you even happier, that you can grow with. Life can be really monotonous at times, and if you don't change things yourself, perhaps you feel like you can't because your family relies on you, or maybe you're just a little bit anxious about what else is around, or worried that the grass isn't greener. Being made redundant would have actually just taken that decision right out of your hands. And so you really have to take this situation and make it work for you. Turn it into a complete advantage to either change career or perhaps go for that higher level position that you didn't think that you could do. Don't second guess yourself. Believe in yourself and make it happen. If you have children, I would say try to be quite open with them and explain what is going on, as if you are anxious and concerned, they're going to feed on that and feel it as well. So maybe explain, because redundancy is quite a big word and hard to understand for children, or laid off, or whatever terminology that you're using in your household. But I guess try and explain it as best you can in a positive way, and explain that you may have more time for them, which they will probably totally love. And create a new routine, because that always helps to keep that structure. It may not be exactly what you've been doing before, but having a new routine will make kids feel comfortable and safe and not unsure about what's been happening, especially if you've been doing the same thing for so long. They may be so confused if now you're home all the time. If you need more advice and you're not sure what to do, there are loads of online resources. You can check out the HMRC website, which will give you info on statutory redundancy pay. Also, I found Money Saving Expert really helpful, which I think is helpful for a lot of topics. And then, of course, there is Citizens Advice. And all I can say to you, if you have been made redundant, or perhaps it's a friend or family member who's been going through that, remember that it's your job that has been made redundant, not you. If you've got a bit more time at home, you might find yourself cooking a bit more, becoming the designated cook. And if you like cooking, that's great. If you don't, well, I'm sure you'll soon learn to like it. We have loads of different recipes that we cook week by week in our house, and you can check it out on Instagram on the Flip Flop Family Kitchen page. Our dish of the week this week is one that I've actually cooked quite a few times, but it hasn't quite ever made it onto the Instagram page because it gets eaten so quickly that I never get a chance to take a picture. But I did get one picture today, and I'm going to put it on the page so you can check it out. It is Thai style chicken skewers. It's an absolute hit. No matter when I make it, everybody loves it. And you also make this kind of like peanut sort of satay sauce on the side, which I feel like can go with anything because it tastes so amazing. It's fairly quick and easy to do. I use these chicken drum fillets. I've only noticed them recently, maybe in the last 6 months in the supermarkets. And it's basically like a chicken drumstick, but they take the chicken off the bone. So they're just fillets. And they're really tasty and juicy, not as dry as chicken breast, which is why I love to use it. So check out the recipe, really simple and easy to make, and the sauce as well. We watched a really fun movie called Sneaks, Sneaks, like trainers, sneaks. It's an animated movie and it's got some really well-known voices in it like Martin Lawrence and Chris Paul, and you can check it out on Sky Go and Now TV. It's a fun family movie about a pair of trainers going on a bit of adventure, and I don't know, I found it really heartwarming and enjoyed it, so do check that one out. Something a little bit different. It was a perfect watch as we had just given Emiliana one of her birthday presents, which was finally some Nike Air Jordan 4s, which she's been going on about for so long. So she had them on while we were watching this movie. The savvy tip of the week has got to be grocery shopping. Morrison's grocery shopping on Amazon. Now, I needed to do a shop as one of Emiliana's parties was coming up the next day and I'd been quite disorganized. And I was just astonished. I mean, I am an Amazon Prime member, but I was just astonished that I completed my shop and went to the checkout at 10 a.m. and by 2 p.m., the groceries were literally at my door. Now, I know that Amazon is super fast with most things, but I've never done my grocery shop on Amazon. I have used shopping online a lot, and that is just a savvy tip in itself. Like, you can find so many deals if it's the first time you're using a particular supermarket. So you can get quite a lot off your weekly grocery shop, especially if you just rotate, like try each one out first, and you normally get a good deal, a good discount off your first time using them. But I got free delivery after spending £40, and like I said, within a few hours it was at my door. Phenomenal. I can't quite get over it. I'm sure most people may be using this already and think this is a bit old, but like I said, I've done lots of grocery shopping but not with Amazon, and I was just astounded by how my shop was in my house within a few hours. So check that out as my savvy tip. The game changer has got to be Card Factory. So when you're looking for a particular card that you want to get, perhaps you want to do like daughter, but you also want to put their age, but you can't quite find that exact card that you want. Well, did you know that you can buy number stickers in the Card Factory? So you can pick a card and then they have a few different colors and you can pick the number and stick it on the card, and it looks really good. Like, it may look DIY depending on the color of the card that you choose, but if you can match the card with the numbers, it can look really cool and you end up having this personalized, unique card that nobody else has. So check it out. They're not very expensive, like 50p or something at the Card Factory. Just ask them for these stickers that are numbers, and I think you even have letters. You can just completely personalize your card, especially if you've been super last minute and you planned on making a photo card for your beloved family member or friend, but you didn't quite get around to it. You can kind of personalize while you're in the shop, which is perfect for busy people or forgetful people. As you may know, we absolutely love Spanish music, and this week we have been blaring our Spanish playlist that we have collated, and there is a particular song which we would love to share with you as a song of the week this week. It's a Colombian singer and musician, and his name is Camilo, and the song is called Kesi, which is spelled Kesi. We absolutely love this song. It's got such a great beat, and we end up just singing along in Spanish because we've heard it so many times. So check it out. It is on the Flip Flop Family Song of the Week playlist, which you can find on Spotify and Apple. In fact, all of our songs of the week that we have mentioned on this podcast are on there. So if you do like our style of music, then you should check out that playlist. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm Xylene, and we do release 2 episodes every single week. I'd love you to have a scroll and have a listen to something that maybe takes your fancy. If you have something that you would like to talk to us about, tell us about redundancy, perhaps your story and how you've turned into a positive, then remember that you can comment on this podcast, or you can reach out to us on Instagram it's called the Flip Flop Family. We'd love you to reach out, and we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, thank you so much and have an amazing week. I'm Xylene. This is the Flip Flop Family podcast. Bye.